Hi, I'm Pony Gale with Outrageous, and today I'm at the Big Kitchen Cafe in San Diego, California, and I'm meeting with Judy, the owner, that's ran the cafe for the last 36 years and has been a big friend and ally to the LBGT community. Now Judy's going to show us around Big Kitchen. What's this amazing picture of the Beatles?
My goodness, this is a showstopper. You're never going to believe how it arrived here. We have a lot of customers here who speak many languages, and one of those, of course, is schizophrenia. And I seem to be able to speak it quite well. So as a social worker, I learned a lot of languages. So one of my customers was downtown in San Diego, and there was a coffee shop closing. And this was out in front of the coffee shop, and he decided that this belonged to the Big Kitchen. So he brought it and he gave it to me, and I said, wow, where did you find this? And he told me, and I said, oh, we have to take this back. I said, where? And he couldn't remember where it was. So I put it in the garage looking for people to figure out who it belonged to. And then one day, 3 years later, this woman walked in the restaurant and she sat right at that table and she looked at the Beatles and she said, that's mine. And I said, oh my dear, I'll take it to your car right now. And I started to take it off the wall and she said, I want to eat breakfast first. She sat right there, ate breakfast. Needless to say, I bought it. And by the end of the meal, she said, that stays here. The Beatles belong here. And she walked out the door and left it for me.
Wow, that's amazing. And there's Whoopi, who used to work here, right?
Yes, my gosh. I met Whoopi over at the laundromat next to the 7-Eleven back in '81. And we got to know each other. And I said, you know, you're looking for a job and I need a dishwasher and maybe you'd like to work with me. And she said, absolutely. So she came over and I said, how about you be a waitress? Because you know, your personality is even bigger than mine. And she said, no, I want to be in the kitchen. I do my comedy at night. I want to hide out here in the kitchen. Leave me alone. So we did.
I love it. And she still left her mark
in the
kitchen.
She signed the wall. She came back. We were doing a fundraiser, and we were we were registering people to vote. And all of these celebrities came down from Hollywood. It was unbelievable. We closed the street off, and we registered 350 people to vote in 45 minutes. I think we set the record. And Whoopi walked in here because when she was here the first time, everyone always signed the walls. But then we had to paint them over. And she walked in and her signature wasn't on the wall. She got pissed off and she signed the wall. Don't paint this over. And then she cursed. And then she did the arrow towards where she used to work. I love it, you know, I really do. I'm so proud of her. Her integrity is still intact. And over here we have the yellow brick road over the dishwasher now too, leading to the Big Kitchen.
And what about this section too? It's like
amazing.
amazing.
Oh my goodness gracious, goddess, I can't say goddess and goodness, you'll edit that for me. So, this is the room we started with 36 years ago. As you see, the Big Kitchen Cafe was started in 1980.
And how about you opened in 1980?
Right.
And one of the reasons we're here is because I think that was around the time of the AIDS crisis.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I know
we didn't know about it until about '84. Mm-hmm. And what had happened is, Nora was one of my first customers. And I said, Nora, where should I advertise? Because I was fresh from Detroit and I didn't know a lot about San Diego. And she said, well, Judy, you need to let the gay and lesbian community know that you're here. So she said, you need to advertise in those newspapers. So I did. I advertised in the Uptown. And my dear, I was the first gay-friendly establishment in San Diego. So this was a safe place for everyone to come to because they could even kiss over breakfast here, you know? And I join them every now and then. And what happened was we built a community here. Mm-hmm. And then, oh my gosh, you know, our friends started getting sick. Mm. And, okay, we've got them all gathered all around us here, and the spirits are in here too. So what happened was, so many of the families of my men did not know that their sons were gay. And it was a time when people were not feeling comfortable coming out in public. Mm. So as people were dying, the churches would not let us have the memorials. I became a minister.
Oh my God.
And I led the ceremonies. The Unitarian Church was the only church that would let us in. Oh, this makes me angry as I speak about it. However, now, all these decades later, all the churches are changing. And we did that. We did that. We did hospice here. I did 35 people. I died with 35 people. Mm. And you know, the community thanks me still. Every year, someone comes in and thanks me. I've got a fantasy, and you're part of it. Wait a minute, the fantasy is 1, 2, Big Kitchen the Musical.
So tell me about Big Kitchen the Musical.
It's called Big Kitchen, the Counterculture Musical, because of the counter and so much action that has happened here for 36 years.
Can I take your order and your friends too? You can see that we have quite a menu.
I had been taking care of my parents in New York. I'd go to Rochester for 6 weeks, here for 6 weeks, and then back and forth. And then when they both passed, there was this dark cloud just hanging over my head. And then I talked to the goddess, and I said, Goddess, how am I going to get through this? And the answer that came was creativity. But I couldn't be creative with my restaurant because one of the reasons it works is nothing ever changes. The pictures are the same, the art's the same, a lot of the people are the same, the menu's the same, Jerry Garcia is always here. So I realized I couldn't change my restaurant because people come back because it's always the same.
This is quite this is quite this is quite a restaurant. Big Kitchen, don't miss it.
And then one Sunday, this man was walking up the street with this wonderful, wonderful step, and his blonde hair was flowing, and I thought, who is this man coming up the street smiling at me? It had been a while since anyone had smiled at me like that. And as he got closer, I realized, oh my gosh, it's Bob Schlater. He was my first male waiter in my restaurant in 1981-82. He had left me and he had gone to the Berklee School of Music in Boston. So we spent the day together, and at the end of the day, I said to him, I said, you know, Bob, I'm one of those women who I deal in a lot of fantasies, and you're in 2 of them, but we can't talk about the first one because I introduced you to your wife. But the second one is, and I looked him straight in the eye and I said, Big Kitchen the Musical. And he said, Judy, it's my fantasy too.
If you're looking for the power to hold on, don't go far. Just look around for the power to hold on.
And for the last 3 years, we've been working on it. We have 34 original songs, and we've done 12 productions, and we just keep making it better and better and better. And I can hardly wait for you to hear all the music. Très bien. Food is a great way to change a culture and to educate a culture. So I was able to use it to fundraise for activities that we needed. We were able to elect lesbians into office for the first time. Wow. And they'd go to Sacramento and they would become the head of whatever house they were involved in there. Tony Atkins lives in my neighborhood. Chris Kehoe lives in my neighborhood. And this is where we fundraise to make sure that all of these incredible human beings could be heard. And it needed to be done, and the goddess put me in a position to be able to do it. And I don't remember it all, but other people do. And that's why I have all of these souvenirs here, because each photo is a chapter. I married these two men. I have done so many weddings, and I love doing that. You know, you see our sign over, I do support the freedom to marry. Mm-hmm. The biggest honors I've ever had was to lead the Gay Pride Parade twice.
Wow.
Twice. And I don't know of many straight people or wannabe lesbians who have been able to do that. And I'm very proud of it, very proud of it. When I came to San Diego, so much needed to be done. And I was able to accomplish it because I have food to us.
To us.
If you want to be on the show, contact us and tell us your story.